What up, my thugs, loves, all the aboves? It is your boy Canvas. And last night I went to go see the Michael movie. Man, let me tell you, that was an experience for sure. A little bit in between videos right now, but ended up seeing it last night and I was like, damn, I want to make something about this real quick. Um, I don't know how much spoilers I can really get into. It's like, if you know anything about Michael's life, then like it was kind of in there, honestly. If you don't, then I mean, maybe spoiler warning ahead. But um, yeah, this was a very good movie. It started off with, young Michael. And the kid that played young Michael, holy shit. Um, that motherfucker, ooh, that motherfucker could sing, that motherfucker could dance. Like, they really did their homework on Michael Jackson for sure in trying to bring um, bring his essence to the screen. And I honestly feel like his what's nephew Jafar, he had a very big task. He had a very big role to handle. Like, he had one of the hardest biopic roles, I feel like, ever. Like, this is the one person you kind of can't mess up, honestly. Like, everybody knows who this is. There were times whenever you were watching this movie where he genuinely, it's like, man, that might be Michael on the fucking screen. That shit was kind of crazy. Like, he did really good. It starts off with Michael, going into Jackson 5, and it delves into the relationship with his father a lot, between him and his father, which was very, very big. It was honestly like I guess, like I said, a little spoiler ahead, like this, it stops at the bad tour. The movie ends the bad tour and it says his story will continue. They're apparently going to make a second movie, I'd assume. And in this first movie was really about him escaping the control of his father that his father had on him, and how much of an influence and a negative influence that his dad was on him, even though his dad basically beat them into fame. It's a very interesting look into the relationship between Michael and his father. And honestly, between Michael and his mother too, you really see how much of a relationship they had. That was very cool to see. And then we go from them getting signed to Motown, we go from them being the Jackson 5 to whenever Michael, it flashes to whenever he does Off the Wall. And then he does the song with Quincy Jones, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, which that was a very cool, the way they shot that was nice. The way they shot this movie was very, 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 very cool. Um, Shot it very well. Great scenery, great scenes, great, great arrangement of things they put together showing the things Michael did. Um, One of my favorite parts, honestly, was the Beat It scene whenever it shows Michael working on Thriller, because that's like the big, that's his main album, right? The best-selling album. It shows some of the process of making that, and it shows why he made Beat It, which was very cool to me. And another, again, big thing that played into this movie was, again, Michael Jackson is a black artist. And it seems people forget that because he has vitiligo, or he had vitiligo. And that was actually another cool thing, too. The one glove was kind of also used to cover his vitiligo. I actually never knew that before watching this movie. But that was part of the reason of the one glove, because his vitiligo would spread on his hand. Like, it was really like right here. So he wore the glove, right? That's kind of cool. I didn't know that before watching this movie. I did know he had vitiligo. I just didn't know that. One of my favorite parts was, again, whenever they were making Beat It, or whenever he was making Beat It, and it shows kind of like his process of it. And what was cool about it is that he was like, it showed that he was watching the news or something like that, and he was just seeing gang violence between the Crips and Bloods or whatever. So he pulled up to the warehouse and he brought the Crips and Bloods together, street niggas, to make them like, hey, be in my video, let's get together, let's sing and dance together. That was cool as fuck, because that's one, what Beat It was about, and two, it shows like, it was just cool to see like, oh, that was the culmination of how that was made. And again, it shows again how much Michael cared about just healing the world. Like I always say, like, spread love, spread positivity, just spread love. Like it shows how much like he really was about that as well. And how much that influence, I mean, shit, it kind of carries over whether or not I'd ever known it, but shit, he was about just spreading love and positivity, and that's just kind of what I feel like shit's about. And it was just cool to see that, and see that, oh, it's not a bad message. Like he genuinely was just about wanting to bring people together with his music, with dancing, with anything. Like he says in the movie, it's a universal language, and I'd always believed that music is a very universal language. We go from Beat It, and it goes to where again it shows that he again is a black artist, because MTV wouldn't play him or something like that because he was black, and so he told his people, like, look, put me on MTV, put Billie Jean on MTV, like, and that's how they did it. Like that apparently was the start of black people being able to be put on MTV. It was Michael Jackson. Very cool. Goes into the next thing that happened was the Pepsi commercial, and seeing the effect that had on him was actually very, very interesting. I knew he had the burns. I knew they were third degree. Never knew he had exposed nerve endings. That was crazy. Yeah, that's not cool. And then it goes into Joe basically not giving a fuck that Michael was hurt. Never knew about that, but basically was just concerned whether or not Michael could still perform and go on the tour with his brothers, the last tour that he ended up going on with his brothers. And like I said, this movie was really a culmination of him overcoming his fears with his father, and being able to finally, like, he didn't have, I don't want to, well, he had creative freedom, but he was never able to fully actualize that until he himself was able to stand up to his father, which I think was a very interesting, nuanced thing that was portrayed throughout this entire movie. Throughout this whole movie, it, like, at the beginning, it shows Joe beating Michael, which was a very, very crazy thing. Honestly, I'm surprised they put it on the screen, but it was very interesting how universal that feeling of getting your ass beat is. And it's like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, like, either this kid is a really good actor, or they got a stunt double for this nigga, or they told him, like, all right, act like you're getting your ass beat, and he was like, oh, I got it. Like, because it's just that universal. Like, whenever it happens, it's like and then the aftermath, like, every kid was there. Every kid that got their ass beat was Michael at that point, just curled up in the bathroom, just crying about it, like, not able to do shit. It's tough. It was tough. But throughout this whole movie, that had been lingering with Michael. And every time he had tried to get away from his dad, he himself was never able to. He had always tried to ask someone else to do it. He'd always tried to ask. He asked his new manager that was played by Miles Teller. I forgot his name, but he asked his new manager to fire him through a fax, or just fire him without Michael doing it. And that was it was a thing. It was a really interesting thing to see Michael have to grow up to finally face his fears to his own dad. And then he did it his own way, which was on the stage at the Victory Tour, where he told the audience and his dad that was the last time he was going to be touring with his brothers. And then he walks off, and it goes into the bad tour, and that's where the movie ends. And honestly, hey, his story definitely does continue, and I would love to see more of it. I would love to see what they do. Genuinely, I didn't think, whenever I came into this movie, I did not think there would be as much singing and dancing. Like, I knew there would be some, right? It's Michael Jackson. I knew there would be some singing and dancing. I did not expect them to, it's not a full musical, but they definitely, like, they had the performances, like they had multiple bigger performances, longer ones. I was very shocked they ended up doing as much as they did, but then whenever you watch the movie, you can see why. Um, Apparently they had the third act to be something completely different about his allegations or something like that, but they ended up having to rewrite it because of a lawsuit. And they couldn't mention it in the lawsuit that was put back then or whatever, something like that. So they ended up having to just redo the third act, and a lot of the third act is Michael singing and dancing, and I was very shocked to see that. Again, not because of them going over or whatever. I was shocked to see it because, like, the nigga had to practice to like that. Like, you see Michael Jackson impersonators, you see, like, people can move like Michael sometimes. Even I tried to dance like Michael a few times whenever I was in my younger years doing talent shows, right? That motherfucker, that dude that was really genuinely like there were some shots that they put in this movie where it was like that, like Michael Jackson came back. Like he came back and he, like, if Michael Jackson's destiny was to be Michael Jackson, it was very much like it was almost Jafar's destiny to be Michael Jackson and play him almost, at least in this sense, because he brought him to life. And it was very interesting to see. Like, you see all the impersonators. It was very interesting to see a descendant of Michael be Michael. And it felt like it was very. I'd even watch like an interview with Jafar where he was talking about how he prepared for the role, and he'd even talked about how he, like, the cast and crew had felt like the energy of Michael Jackson was there, and you can really feel that whenever you watch this movie. Like, it's very, it was very inspiring. Very, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it's the best I've seen, the best biopic I've seen. It is up there. I'd have to maybe, I guess, rank him or something like that. Maybe that could be a new video I'll do because I've watched a lot of musical biopics. I love them. They're one of my favorite types of movies besides any other good movie, but biopics, I love them a lot. Um, Maybe I could rank them. We'll see. But yeah, um, yeah. I just went to go see that last night. It was a really good movie. I wanted to talk about it because Michael Jackson is one of my big inspirations. Loved it to death. Um, he he's so inspirational musically that you can't even take inspiration from him anymore, type thing. Like, there is nothing, like, no one could be Michael Jackson. The only person in the hip in any other space that's like Michael Jackson, the only person I feel like is close to that is Lil Wayne. He's been famous just as long, or not just as long, but he didn't have a childhood, was famous since a child, went through multiple eras of being who he was, had his own Thriller. I mean, shit. That's the only other person other than, like, that's just not, that's not including like singing, dancing. No, that's not saying that. That's just based on a career of longevity. That's it. Just a logical, just what I would think. A career of longevity, by technicality, I'd say. But there is no one else that could be Michael for sure. And seeing that, like, man, you really got to see how important Michael Jackson was to a lot of people, and they really did. I mean, they got his family, like his family signed off on it. A lot of this, like at the end, you got to see all his family members executive producing. Like, they wanted to tell his story, and they did it. They did it with care, and they did it with taste, and it was really cool. And again, the best part of this movie was seeing Michael Jackson overcome his fear with his father, and seeing how genuine of a genius Michael Jackson was whenever it came to making music, and whenever it came to putting things together, and whenever it came to exploring his creativity. Because that's all he wanted to do, was explore his creativity and explore it and create to his fullest. And whenever he got the chance to do that, he made the best selling album of all time. Like, that's, hey, what can you say? I'll stop rambling on. I just wanted to get my thoughts on the movie. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked what you guys saw, if you guys want to hear more of my opinions, like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to comment and talk with you guys and converse with you guys in the comments for sure. Yeah. Like I said, this was in between videos. My next video, we will see. Subscribe and find out what it is. And peace out.
I took his bitch cause his bitches ain't wantin' a nigga, then he had a sauce for the bitch. She been fucking with you and been losing. I might fuck him, me to the world, let's get lost in the bitch. She done need a nigga with bouncy with.